This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/blokes to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 months for free. 4 months for free. That's not too shabby, is it?
Pretty good deal.
It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. I like VPNs. Personally, I do actually use NordVPN.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's an absolutely quality product. It really is. And apparently it's in over 60 countries throughout the world as well. 5,000 servers. So it's keeping your data and your online security, identity security. Yeah. Absolutely top notch.
There's loads of security features on there that are absolutely amazing that I haven't used yet. Yeah, if I'm being completely honest.
There's a lot to go at.
What I do is I just switch to the USA and watch Netflix, and there's certain things that aren't available on UK Netflix that are over there, and that's the main thing I use it for, to be honest.
And obviously you can get it on Android, iOS. There's a load of operating systems that you can use it on as well, so it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, really good.
I mean, why wouldn't you at this point? So don't forget that is head to NordVPN/blokes. You get an amazing deal. You get a huge discount off, and you get 4 free months at the end of the plan as well.
Yeah.
So no brainer. Don't forget, do that, guys. You can click the link below as well, and it'll take you where you need to go.
Brilliant.
Cheers, guys.
Awesome.
Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively we are bright and fresh on a Friday morning.
Ready for our Christmas party tonight.
Party tonight.
Ready to go.
Already got it started with that keyboard.
I've got a cold today as well.
It's typical, isn't it?
I know. It won't stop me. I'm going to the pub early and everything, watch the early game of football, meet you all down there.
Yep.
Good stuff.
What time are you getting in the pub?
No idea.
Well, we're leaving at 6:30.
I know.
So the day before then.
Leaving the pub at 6:30, that is, for everyone watching. Yeah. So we need to be in the pub drinking for a while before that happens.
At least 3.
All I know is I'm eating lots and lots of shit food today and drinking lots of water. I'm going to feel great midnight time.
Let's see, shall we?
1 o'clock in the morning. It finishes at 1.
Yeah, I'm going to be going live on Instagram. Just pissed.
Snogging Paul.
Oh, really, mate? Oh, no one wants to see that.
Not again. He's a terrible kisser. Anyway,
you learnt your lesson.
American foods that are banned in other countries. We did. Was it food inside? It was Food Wars, wasn't it? Where they talked about Skittles.
Yeah.
And there was an ingredient in Skittles that's banned in the EU.
Right.
The American ones.
Some sort of additive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you ADHD, doesn't it?
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Is it one of the food colourings?
I think it's food colourings, isn't it? Because the people used to say it over here, that's what causes a lot of it. Like in food colourings and stuff like that, and sweets that kids have.
Yeah.
It used to be a thing, didn't it?
That's my boring fun fact. When you go to those American sweet shops that are everywhere in Manchester, I find the Skittles and I'm like, oh, they're banned in this country. They easily start looking at the ingredients.
It's probably like, you know what, mate, they've just got them out of the bag in the
Yeah. Precisely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, let's find out about some other American foods that are banned in other countries. Let's do it.
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food. But that belief may not hold up to scrutiny. From unsanitary practices in mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals, countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved. That's right. This week we're talking about American foods that have been banned by other countries. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. Then leave a comment and tell us what other world food facts you would like to know more about. Now,
there was a lot of this scaremongering with Brexit, wasn't there? That we'd have a closer relationship with America and we'd be flooded with cheap chlorinated chicken and all this sort of stuff. But when I was over there, the food was amazing. It was better that, when you eat out, it was much better than the food over here.
Yeah, of course it is. And it's but what you've got, if you see food production in any form, you won't eat again.
Yeah, you'd probably think, really? Is that what they do?
Well,
we just see the end
I don't want to know. That's all I want to see is the end product.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not asked about the middle bits.
Yeah, I reckon getting from A to B is probably not a very nice thing, really, in a lot of cases.
I've not eaten KFC for almost a year.
No, me neither.
And it's partly down to the food practices, the fact that someone found a deep fried head in their chicken. A chicken head.
Human head or chicken head.
A chicken head.
Shit, if it was a human head, wasn't it?
But when you get chicken wings that are that big, and it's like, that's not a chicken. That's it's a little chick. About 4 weeks old, if that. Put me off a bit.
Now let's see how wrong the rest of the world really is.
Jason Momoa lookalike. There you go.
Since the
Straight
dawn
in.
of Skittles, there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of us heard at least one classmate claim that the red ones make you sterile, and the yellow ones, they give you cancer. Turns out, it might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate wasn't wrong. The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children. Sweden and Norway have banned the candies out of concern. The European Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors. This is because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop across the rainbow. Research linked titanium dioxide to damaged DNA, which can lead to cancer. While Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up. In May of 2021, the Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic. And yes, before you ask, right now the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound. You can taste the rainbow, but just in moderation. California is home to an ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of Skittles. The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption. So maybe for now, play it safe. Just go have some Swedish fish instead.
Swedish fish were great when we did the try channel.
Hey,
I've just ordered some. I've ordered a full box.
Really? They were unbelievable.
Not
Do you
Swedish
remember?
fish. I've ordered
What is it?
Swedish fish.
little red fish.
Little sweets.
No, I don't think I've had them
One of
before.
my favourites.
We did them on the try channel.
Yeah.
Did
When
we?
we did American candies,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
can't
ordered a
remember.
box of American candies.
Nice.
Got Swedish fish in there.
Nice. After the Food Wars one about Skittles, where they talked about titanium dioxide, I went and bought a big bag of Skittles. Sat eating and watching TV that evening.
You think? I mean, I wonder why you think to be on the safe side. They say, we won't use that. We'll just make them the way they do in Europe instead. Then it's job done, isn't it?
The colours don't look the same, probably. Probably like a duller.
Yeah.
Does anyone looking
possibly,
at that? It's
but-
a fucking dull blue.
Exactly.
I know, yeah.
You can brighten that up a little bit and it'll make it a little bit better.
I
Exactly,
fancy
you
a
don't
bag of
think you-
Skittles, but they're not shiny enough over
Yeah.
here,
Yeah, you
so
don't
I'm not going to eat
I
them.
don't think you scrutinise them that much, do you really? So I think just be on this play it safe and just
You get them
make them like do in Europe.
catch it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Bread.
I don't know.
I know that they had to recategorise the bread in Subway in Ireland. They're not allowed to call it bread anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's got that much sugar
Offensive.
in it.
Does
It's
bread
cla-
get offended?
It's classed as a cake because it's got
That's
that
it.
much sugar in it. Yeah, so it's
Wow.
Subway aren't allowed to call it bread in Ireland anymore.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Ever looked at a piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life, but let's be honest, it was probably in the hands of Pepe Le Pew, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that? As great as we talk about the invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on America's wide grocer shelves. That's because we make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snap packs worth of additives. Like azodicarbonamide, for example, which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough. Fun fact about azodicarbonamide, it's also used in a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga mats. Downward
That was a hockey.
dogs. The European
Yeah.
Union is really against the idea of its citizens eating yoga mat material and has banned their use in food products. Pork, the other white meat, is a staple of American meats along with chicken, fish, and beef. From bacon to ham, hot dogs to pork chops. American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of pig per person every year. Soo-wee, my heart is stopping. Don't get us wrong, other nations indulge in swine just as much, if not more, than Americans. So why doesn't the U.S. export scores of succulent bacon-bearing boars? Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in many pig farms to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine, which we put a dash of in a lot of foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption. This in turn has led to a prohibition of pork exports across the world. The EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009. China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013. Maybe that's because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large enough quantities. But it is a small price to pay for a perfect piece of pork.
No, it says something with Russia and China have banned it.
Do you know the weird thing is?
Wow.
Is I used to love bacon, and I've not really sort of like took to it. Or not bacon, ham in general.
Yeah,
I used to eat
right.
a lot of pork.
Is this
And
in
then
the
probably-
States or
Yeah,
right?
And probably since I've left the States, I've not really been that like bothered about it. One of them, I lived
okay.
in a Muslim country. It wasn't really easy to get.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But it was like a bit more black market than it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right.
But I've never really took to it since. I wonder if that's why.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, because if the American stuff makes you intoxicated, you probably tried the British stuff and you're like, still sober.
Yeah, it's not doing
It's shit, this
It's not doing it. It's not doing it for me. This.
I wonder if that's why.
It's not strong enough. Maybe it is. Yeah, you never know, do you?
I don't
Weird
consume
one.
a lot
Yeah.
of pork, really. Anyway, like I have chorizo, which is pork. I'd cook with that quite a lot. And then bacon, like once every couple of weeks, maybe.
Yeah, I have bacon
But-
occasionally, but I mean, not.
I
The odd
kind
bit
of crave for
humble.
bacon, and then when I have it, I think fucking shit that.
Yeah.
I prefer our bacon, though. Do you like the streaky bacon?
No, I
Evan?
prefer the Danish bacon.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, have the bacon butty here and there,
Yeah,
I think.
same.
But apart from that, yeah, not much really.
I'm really something like really fell out with it, and like not really ate that much of it.
Yeah.
This is more like it.
Chicken.
It's like, yeah, chicken.
Chicken pasta will be next.
Hey,
Right?
ooh.
Porn.
Hygiene in America often comes down to dousing stuff in a chlorine bath and calling it FDA approved, and chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line, American food regulators decided a quick chlorine
Bit
shot was
graphic.
the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked poultry. Chlorine marinade. And look, it's not that the EU is against taking a long gulp from the public pool now and then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low. The bigger concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning band-aid on a larger problem. The tip of the beak, so to speak. They're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just the normal bacteria and don't get at a potential contamination from things like low-quality feed to unsanitary coops on farms. The EU called the chlorine rinse an easy fix, arguing no chemical rinse will ever remove all bacteria from meat heavily contaminated as a result of poor hygiene. That hurts extra to hear it from the French.
So look after the chickens better. It's more of a welfare issue, isn't it?
It sounds like
Really.
it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Before you eat them.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. It's, yeah.
Do you know what they say? I saw like a van with I think it had like goats on it or something, or sheep, and the fucking people were complaining that we're all in too close confines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get on the tram going to the match. And
Precisely.
Five
Yeah.
times worse.
Yeah, even worse, isn't it? Yeah. Oh,
You
man.
can't even move. You can't even put your arm up. Or if your arms are down, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staying there, aren't
Staying
they?
there. Yeah.
Try being 6'2" and getting on a plane.
Mm.
So I've got no sympathy for the sheep that
Yeah.
are, you know, travelling from there to there
Yeah.
like that. It's probably more room than I get. But yeah, that one I thought it was the problems with the chlorinated chicken.
Yeah.
But I guess the idea is, you know, if you're feeding him shit, because salmonella's been eradicated in this country, hasn't it? A couple of decades ago, it doesn't really exist anymore.
No idea.
I mean,
Through better practices, you don't have to worry with eggs.
as a widespread,
whatsoever.
as a widespread problem, I think it has been, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it can still pop up here and there, can't you? You can still get salmonella poisoning through bad cooking and stuff, can't you?
Yeah,
But-
bad practices in the kitchen and
Yeah.
things like that. But I think, like, because it was in eggs at one point, wasn't there? There was
Yeah.
a stat of like 1 out of X amount of eggs could potentially have
Yeah, but
salmonella.
I think that was blown up out all
Right.
proportion. Wasn't it? With
With
Edwina
curry.
Curry, that was a big gaff that she made, saying salmonella's in, like you're saying, load of things, but it's proved
Right.
to be that sort of naturally it occurs anyway, or something like that.
When
And I
they
think
had
it was-
mad cow over here.
yeah,
Remember the mad cow
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
You could buy like fucking sirloin steaks for like fucking 40p.
yeah.
Fucking cart full of them. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck that. I'll fucking take my chance.
They were green.
What
though.
happened?
Yeah, they were green though.
You're
and they
about a
screamed at you. when the mad cow thing was big over here, Ash was working in a lab that was testing the meat. So it was like samples sent from farms to her, and then she was one of the people testing it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, finding the BSE,
Yeah.
and then they had to destroy whole herds of cows because of it. And she was saying that some of them started fermenting in the tubes because they weren't handled properly. So you'd open the tube with the sample of meat from the cow, and it'd explode.
Wow.
And but it'd be like grim, rancid, fermenting meat in it. So it's like the surströmming of the cow world.
I was buying up all the meat. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, balls to it. 60p a steak, 40p or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'll have that.
In a field where they've
Normally
stacked
about
up hundreds of
£10.
cows on fire, and you're like,
Nasty.
you did used to be able to get
Mountain
Dew
Dew
over here.
is the closest
Yeah.
any
Okay.
soft drink has come to being fully weaponized. But did you know in Austria and Norway, the soda is outright banned? That's because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine, also known as yellow 5. And if your ADHD hasn't kicked in yet, you'll remember that color and number from the Skittles section
Skittles.
earlier. It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people.
hell, they do
Ironically, the
drink it.
qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda non-plus in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes: a frenetic, over-caffeinated lifestyle. Do the do. Baja Blast. Woo-hoo. And while you might be able to find Mountain Dew in Europe, it's going to hit a little different. That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the dew before discontinuing it. What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU has a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hartman in the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew was meant as a whiskey mixer, with a name coming from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine. It'll tickle your innards, is what the old ads used to read. No lies detected here.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
Little Debbie has been providing Americans with comfort snack food since the 1960s, with their variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars, fudge rounds,
Never heard of this.
cosmic
No, I haven't.
brownies. But their big claim to fame, as anyone who has ever had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss Rolls, a mixture of rich chocolate cake and butter creamy
Nice.
filling.
Swiss
Over
roll.
900
do.
million cartons of Little Debbie products are shipped each year, but none of those cartons go anywhere near Austria or Norway. Blame those rascally additives, yellow 5 and red 40. Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per product, and in those quantities, they've been shown to
Why? It's brown.
If someone says to me, do you know
That's
what yellow
weird.
5 or red 40 is, I'd be like, is it like fucking code words for like spies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Swiss roll has landed.
Yeah.
Yellow 5.
Yellow 5 and red 40 are in the house.
Yeah. Weird. Doesn't that make like a brownie colour though? I know it's green, isn't
I
it?
know, but there must be more naturally occurring ways to get brown in your food than these toxic things that make you go mental.
Nah, you need to go mental though. Kids need things like this in their life.
There needs to be a Mountain Dew and Skittles challenge
Yeah.
on TikTok or something
I
where
think-
people are just
I
naming
think,
both.
I think you can still get Mountain Dew over here. I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
I think you can, yeah, but like he just said, it's a different formula.
Ah, right.
Yeah, it must be, mustn't it?
Yeah.
have an adverse effect on children. And we're not just talking about causing hyperactivity, although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may be 1/2 as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin. And while we can't prove there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring and cancer, they do cause damage to white blood cells, causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more rapidly. For that reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If only they weren't so delicious. Surprisingly, you can buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers to kids. You know, like cigarettes. When you hear the words banned breakfast cereal, you're probably imagining one of the countless kid-focused brands of sugary morsels, like the oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp. So you might be surprised to learn that it's actually Special K, the most boring cereal on all of the earth, that has been banned in Denmark and discouraged in the EU. How does the healthiest box of flakes on the shelf get banned, while stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage? Ironically, because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK, Special K has been put on blast by the Advertising Standards Authority for exaggerating how much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all its fortified vitamins and minerals. Regulators argue that Kellogg's cereal's unnaturally high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a genetically modified organism, or GMO. More specifically, Special K is swole with the same artificial compounds that studies have shown to potentially pose health risks, specifically to children and pregnant women. In conclusion, you may want to stick with crunch berries.
What? Strange one,
crazy one, isn't it?
Special K.
It's mad what goes into food, isn't it?
It's shocking.
Wow.
It really
Food
is.
production thing is just incredible.
It's something you don't think about, isn't it?
You have to be a scientist just to fucking make a cornflake.
Yeah. Nothing to do these. I think they do have scientists and all sorts, don't they, making these things and looking at the products and everything. But a lot goes into it.
Must be one of the downsides of mass production because shelf life needs to be increased and consistency across the board.
That is the problem, isn't it? Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
That's why they add a lot of these things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for like shelf life and things like that.
So you're better off in the morning just waking up and having an egg rather than a bowl of cereal, or just like something that's.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
Egg's fine. Stick to that.
What I mean is an ingredient, rather than something that's. What do you call it? What's the word?
Like
processed.
Processed, unnatural.
Yeah. So just.
Well, you've got chickens, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you get eggs from them? Do they deliver in the morning?
They do. Yeah, you hear them outside going, "Ow, ow, it burns," and then you get a couple of eggs. It's great. Nice eggs too, actually.
You don't need to take a transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling any steak tartare in your trunk. Today, consuming raw meat has fallen out of fashion in the US, much like other foods like veal and pate, which don't make you sick but might make you sad. But while baby cow and overstuffed goose liver is illegal in parts of America now, tartare is not. See, while veal and pate may be uncool, they are also served hot. Unlike tartare, which is chopped up cold meat, straight from the cow.
It looks horrible.
Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning and parasitic infections, especially in beef and poultry. But considering how fancy pants steak tartare is, Titanic food one might say, you'd think countries might look the other way and let the luxury delicacy slide. And for a long time they did. In Canada, meat has to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered safe to serve. But those rules aren't strictly enforced. That is, until recently. In 2021, restaurant owners in New Brunswick selling steak tartare were all served cease and desist letters. Canadian public health officials had decided that amid the ongoing health crisis of COVID-19, the last thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
I have it quite a lot.
Does not appeal to me whatsoever.
Doesn't appeal to me, but I mean, you'd think it'd be like a free choice, wouldn't you, really, when it comes to eating food?
Yeah.
You don't get free choice in Canada anymore.
Have
you seen the way it's going?
There's one restaurant I go in where they make it right in front of you.
Really?
Yeah, they bring a trolley over and they sort of get the beef out and they chop it and they put these onions in it and they drizzle something on it to, kind of like cook it.
Kill all that bleach.
Yeah, bleach. That's it, yeah. Domestos. Squirt domestos. Nice, delicious.
I think our relationship with Pink Beef.
What, the singer?
Yeah, Pink Beef, the singer. Yes. Half Pink, half Lizzo. I think our relationship with Pink meat that isn't a steak, because everywhere does medium rare steaks and stuff in this country, but like a rare burger or a medium rare burger, it's just not part of our culture.
No,
it's
not.
It's starting to come over more with the American burger places. But most people, if they see a bit of pink in a burger, they're going to say it's undercooked over here.
You just kind of they would.
Yeah,
I think they would for a bit with the burger.
I mean, when I cook burgers at home, I leave a little pink strip in the middle.
Ash does as well.
Yeah.
I do them all the way through, so there's no pink.
Yeah,
but she always leaves a little bit of pink.
Yeah, burgers is a bit different, and obviously with your steaks, it's fine. As long as you brown the outside, then that kills the bacteria because you don't get bacteria inside the beef, which is why you can have it raw sort of thing. Not raw, but
Yeah. Well, I have carpaccio
rare,
as well, which is like
cold soup.
No, that's gazpacho.
Right. Okay.
Carpaccio is like the sliced beef that's rare as well.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how it works with beef burgers. That's chopped up meat, isn't it? That's minced. So I'm not sure whether you could have it rare inside because obviously there still might be bacteria in it.
I'm still all right.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's just
it still gets heat in there anyway, doesn't it? So
it's just culturally over here, it's not a thing. I think it's like
the fat would probably cook it like to a certain level.
Probably will.
I think they say the more surface area you've got that's exposed to the air, the more potentially dangerous it is.
Yeah.
So with mince, it's got a vast amount of surface area, hasn't it? But I don't mind a sort of rare, medium rare burger. It's all right with me.
Yeah.
Is there anything more American than Coca-Cola? The fizz, the flavor, the former secret ingredient, cocaine. Coke is basically apple pie in beverage form. And it's not just Americans who are cuckoo for Coke. Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca-Cola quickly caught on overseas. It was the World War II GI's drink of choice. Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries, making it the best-selling soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands of all time. But there will always be exceptions, and unlike the other entries on the list, for once it has nothing to do with health concerns. Everybody knows that Coke is not good for you. We just decided collectively that we don't care. No, the countries that have outlawed the brand have done so because of what it represents, a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism. From 1962 to 2011, the U.S. banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions against the military junta that ruled the country until 2011. It resumed sales in the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S.
Are we going to guess? It's going to be Colombia. Cuba, sorry.
Could be Cuba.
Cuba, North Korea.
You would think so, really, yeah.
I'm going to go with that. Cuba, North Korea.
And Iran as well.
Yeah.
I can see Iran having it, though. They were quite westernised, weren't they, up until recently?
But they'd also be quite easy to smuggle into through Iraq or through
Yeah.
other surrounding areas.
Did they drink a lot of Coca-Cola in the Middle East? Obviously, not being dry countries. A lot of them.
Middle East is very Americanized.
Is it?
So a lot of the fast food chains and stuff like you see over there, you get them in the Middle East.
Right.
And a lot of the American stores you don't see them here, but you get them all in the Middle East.
Oh, wow.
So things like Arby's, for example.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen an Arby's over here.
No.
But you see them in the Middle East. You see quite. It's
Interesting.
Dunkin' Donuts are everywhere and things like that.
Yeah.
They're all over.
North Korea hasn't allowed Coke since 1950, and the bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba since Fidel Castro ceased supplies in 1962. First the prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined by the federalization of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and lime, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America. Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink of choice, though black market sales abound. After all, it is the birthplace of the Cuba Libre, aka the rum and Coke.
I'm going to try and get some of that Cuba Cola.
Yeah, it looks good.
M&M's, the delicious melt in your mouth.
Are we going to guess this is going to be yellow 5?
It's gotta be, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Green 27.
Not in your hand snacks were
going black.
originally a collaboration between the Scion sons of the Mars and Hershey dynasties in 1941. Like Coca-Cola, M&Ms gained international fans during World War II, as American soldiers popularized the candy overseas as the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in Sweden, where it's banned due to a trademark conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase m's as its signature. When Mars introduced the candy to Sweden in 2009, a court ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats. During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden. And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs. Should you want to check out what the fuss is all about, Marabou's is sold in IKEA stores here in the US. Well, at least it's good to know that M&Ms don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right? That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate. So what do you think?
Yeah.
Which of these banned foods sounds the most delicious?
Quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'd eat all them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at that it's not the colourings in them. So how can they can get the colouring like that?
Just different ingredients, I guess.
It must be.
There's
They're the
loads
same
of-
sort of coating though, aren't they?
But there's loads of naturally
colours.
occurring sort of colours and things you can use. I'm sure that's probably just that yellow 5 or whatever it is probably just the cheapest.
Yeah.
Most widely
probably.
available.
Yeah, I guess so.
A bit touchy on that M&M thing, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's too close to advertising.
I know, yeah.
Does it matter?
You'd think that
Who gives a shit?
You'd think that the US would retaliate and ban it being sold in IKEA in the US, as a reprisal.
Yeah.
Ban the Swedish one being sold.
I suppose they want to sell it in the IKEAs as a sort of like natural sort of like Swedish products, I suppose, don't they? But
along with the meatballs and the.
I like the meatballs. The proper trash. If you actually.
When did he sell the fish?
Swedish fish.
It's just a nightmare shop.
IKEA. I like it.
It takes about 3 hours to get in and out, even if you just want to go in for something easy.
There's only one shop I go. It was two. I go in Flannels and I go in Waitrose. That's it. That's me done. Or the beer store.
Yeah.
Even that started ordering in line.
Yeah.
Member of a club, so it's easy.
I like IKEA.
No, I don't. It's just does me head in. Getting in and out of there, it's an absolute rip off.
You like it that much, you're pronouncing it wrong.
IKEA.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.